By 1942, wartime experience had shown that traditional artillery had several weaknesses. In most cases, it was unable to keep up with the advancing troops, and it was very vulnerable to air attacks. The solution was already present in the form of assault guns, which combined firepower, sufficient armor, and greater mobility. As the Royal Hungarian Army lacked such vehicles, the decision was made to obtain them as soon as possible. This would not be easy, but eventually the elite units would receive at least some assault guns that performed well in combat. One of the earliest proponents of assault guns was Captain József Barankai, who had distinguished himself at the Eastern Front and was wounded in combat. After his recovery in late 1942, he was sent to Germany to the Jüterbog assault gun school, where he studied together with 40 other Hungarian officers. In the meantime, the Defense Ministry tried to purchase Stug 3 assault guns, but the German officials refused to sell the vehicles themselves or the license to manufacture them. Therefore, a domestic design was quickly needed to ensure the new units would have something to fight with. To satisfy the increasing demand for effective tank hunters and assault howitzers, two different versions were planned. One would have a long-barreled 75 mm anti-tank gun, while the other would rely on a short-barreled 105 mm howitzer, mainly for infantry support. In total, 8 new assault gun battalions would be set up using these vehicles, so each fully equipped infantry division would receive one, as per the 1943 Szabolcs plan. In each battalion, 2 batteries would have the tank hunters, while the third would be equipped with the assault howitzers, so they ordered 168 Zrínyi Mark I and 72 Zrínyi Mark II AFVs. Due to delays and unforeseen issues, this plan had to be modified, then scrapped later on. Since testing of the 43M 75mm anti-tank gun revealed problems, the gun sometimes posed a threat to its own crew, the focus was placed on the second model, which would receive the already existing 40M 105mm howitzer. This gun had originally been developed from a Bofors model as a towed field gun, but problems with the suspension forced the project to be abandoned. Now the previously manufactured barrels could be used without any delay, so the Zrínyi Mark II, or Zrínyi 105, was born first. The prototype of the original Turan medium tank was modified by the Manfred Weiss Steel and Metal Works, which delivered the iron model by December 1942. The basic layout of the tank remained, along with its fundamental systems, engine, suspension, and the riveted armor, but to make room for the larger gun, the hull was now 400 mm wider, and the turret was replaced with a fixed structure. Front armor was increased, but on the sides this was only 25 mm, while the rear was protected by an even thinner 13 mm plate. Side skirts could be fitted, these helped protect the tracks, but they also collected mud very easily, and it was forbidden to use them in freezing weather. The size of the fuel tanks jumped to 445 liters, so range also increased to 280 kilometers. Maximum speed on road was 43 kilometers per hour, but this could reach 55 kilometers per hour downhill, although the Zrínyi then needed 215 meters to stop. It could store 52 shells, but in practice this could be expanded to 120 pieces, with 60 high explosive, 40 high explosive anti-tank, and 20 smoke grenades. The vehicle weighed 21.6 tons, but its height was greatly reduced, so it could find cover more easily, and it was more difficult to hit it from a distance. Although the short-barreled gun was not high velocity, and its two-piece ammunition slowed down the rate of fire, High Command did not have an alternative, so the assault howitzer was pressed into service. According to the records, it could fire 6 rounds per minute, with a maximum range of 10.5 kilometers, with a horizontal deflection of 11 degrees, and a gun depression and elevation of -8 and +25 degrees in that order. The originally planned fixed machine gun for anti-aircraft and anti-personnel purposes was abandoned, but each vehicle had a radio, and members of the crew could communicate by using throat microphones and speakers that were built into their helmets. For rough aiming, the gunner could instruct the driver to turn using red and green signals that would light up on the dashboard. For self-defense, the crew had one machine gun and 3 SMGs with several magazines. Serial production commenced in February 1943, with the first 40 being ordered from WM and guns. The barrels would be delivered by Dimavag in Diósgyőr, while the front armor plates came from the Ózd steelworks. Production was slow at first, with only 3 assault howitzers being delivered in September, followed by 10, 10, and 7 in the following months. These would be used by the training unit that had settled in Hajmáskér, led by Captain Barankai. Starting already in January 1943, they first studied the production of the Zrínyi for a full month, followed by a driving course in Nagytétény with Turán medium tanks. In March, the officer training program was set up to prepare the volunteers, who all had to come from the artillery and had to be single. High losses were expected, so only serious candidates were considered. The rest, who in fact wanted non-combat roles, were sent away. By January, all 40 guns were ready, so 1st Battalion could finally be equipped. 10 were given to 10th Battalion, while the other 6 units had to use 2 Turán tanks each for training. The prototype of the first model, the Zrínyi 75, was only expected by mid-1944, but it was then completed earlier by March. However, subsequent testing showed that the gun produced too much smoke, gas, and fire inside the assault gun, so production was delayed to autumn 1944. Seeing this, the Defense Ministry ordered the second production run of the Zrínyi 105 to be brought forward with all 50 vehicles. In total, 110 Zrínyi 75s were to follow once the issues had been fixed. However, Dimavag reported that it could not produce the 75mm guns due to a lack of raw materials. Then an Allied bombing raid destroyed the Budapest facilities, along with the Zrínyi 75 and the long-barreled Turán Mark III prototypes. The German occupation, along with their order to abandon the anti-tank project, put an end to all efforts. By July, continued bombing resulted in a complete stop of production of all armored vehicles. Another 26 Zrínyi 105 had been completed by that time, but after that, only 6 more vehicles could be assembled using spare parts from the damaged hulls. That means a total of 72 assault howitzers could be delivered, but it was too little, too late. As I mentioned, only 1st and 10th battalions could be equipped with Zrínyis, but these units also used Botond, Opel Blitz, and Klöckner trucks for transportation, along with BMW 700, Puch, and Gilera motorcycles. The other 6 battalions would later receive either Stug 3 or Hetzer vehicles, but even with these, they never reached their full strength. Each battalion was to have a full mobilized strength of 800 men, which, according to the estimations, was equal to 5 infantry battalions, that is, 5,000 men. Each battery would have 2 fuel trucks and plenty of smaller reserve barrels for a total capacity of 23,000 tons of gasoline. 1st Battalion fought in Galicia in June with 1st Army, while 10th Battalion was transported in August to Transylvania to assist 2nd Army. Both units were then withdrawn to Budapest and were destroyed during the siege, but not before knocking out dozens of T-34 tanks and supporting the infantry on a daily basis. 7th Battalion was equipped with Stug 3 assault guns. These fought near Arad with 3rd Army, but they also had to retreat to Budapest with what was left of their unit. 16th and 24th Battalions received Hetzers only. They also fought in Budapest, although some records mention that another part of 24th fought in Slovakia, destroying their last assault guns only in May 1945 when Germany surrendered. 20th Battalion received both Zrínyi's and Hetzers. It assisted Hungarian and German units near Lake Balaton at Enying, although one of its batteries was also destroyed when Budapest fell. It seems that 13th and 25th Battalions never received any vehicles. Their men fought with anti-tank guns and as infantry. Nonetheless, being all volunteers, they were considered to be elite units, in most cases fighting to the last man. The stories of some of these battalions deserve their own videos in the future.